Alright, this is part 10, and I'm going to talk about hypersexualization. Hypersexualization is what they're doing right now with these kids. They're fucking feeding you nothing but sex. They're feeding you nothing but sex or subtle lust. You know what I'm saying? There's songs that sound like love songs, but they're really just songs of lust and steamy. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit here, man. Not until very recently, come on now, over these past few years, I'd say about 2003, 2002, was this shit ever acceptable. It was never acceptable. The society never accepted it. Society never accepted it. Society didn't accept the media world pushing sex on the kids. They've placed their occultist kids into Disney, and now they're pushing them out as sex symbols when their still fan base is based around children. You know what I'm saying? Their fan base is predominantly little kids, and they know it, and they're well aware of it. And these occultist kids, celebrities, were already occultists before the shit, long before the shit hit. Long before they started stripping down and dressing like this and shit, they were occultists. And this shit is an agenda, is planned to hypersexualize the kids, because these motherfuckers are pedophiles. The shit behind all these fucking whore ass celebrities and these fucking nasty ass celebrity girls, they're pedophiles, man. They're pedophiles. They know about the pedophile rings. They're all fucking involved with that shit. They know all about it. They know all about the pedophile rings, and they're pushing it. They're pushing sex onto these kids, because these kids, when they hypersexualize these kids, it leaves, they're doing it to the whole society. They're doing it to the whole society. So these kids, they're hypersexualized. So when these little kids are molested and raped, they have a much better chance of keeping it on the low, on the down low, because these kids have been hypersexualized. And now, these kids are having sexual fantasies when they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. These kids shouldn't fucking be all up into that shit. I mean, these kids fucking know everything from a young age now, because they've implemented these little occult horror celebrities and fucking stripped them down now, while their fan base is still predominantly children. And they do it on purpose. They not do it on purpose. They started doing it on purpose. This shit is new. This shit never flew before. This shit wasn't cool in the 90s, dude. They didn't fucking do this shit. This shit is new. They didn't Disney is a fucking pedophile powerhouse, man. Come on now. Let's see here. They start them out as if they're in. These kids are molested themselves, are passed around themselves. These Disney kids, they're passed around themselves because they're occult kids, and the occult passes around their kids and trades them off as if they're sex slaves. You know what I'm saying? Donald's going to watch you this fucking weekend, and they're all fucking, they're molesting each other's kids. The occult is one giant pedophile ring, dude. They're all into anything vile. They see themselves as Satan's workers or some fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They see themselves as, they do anything vile, anything that's evil or sinful. You know what I'm saying? And they pass around each other's kids. And these Disney kids, they were all molested. They were all raped as kids. And they have their sex trainers or whatever, their masters or whatever, their sex masters. You know what I'm saying? And these kids, they were occult kids long before they were ever even in Disney. You know what I'm saying? And then they're pushing them. They push them out into the media world and stripped them down. And now their fan bases are still predominantly very young kids. So it's hypersexualizing the kids. It's called hypersexualization. And it just opens the door for these fucking pedophiles to molest and rape little kids and get away with it, because the kids feel their sexual fantasies are being fulfilled, because now you got kids with sexual fantasies. Kids shouldn't have sexual fantasies. Kids wouldn't even have sexual. They didn't used to. Kids never had it. You know what I'm saying? It was never like this. Things were never accepted like this until they pushed this little new age movement. You know what I'm saying? This new age occult movement with their shit. You know what I'm saying? To make everything okay, make everything acceptable, and push your threshold beyond your moral values. You know what I mean? And they've doing a great job of hypersexualizing these kids. And now these kids have sexual fantasies, and they're being raped and molested by these occult men. And they're running massive pedophile rings in this country right now. I mean, from Hollywood to New York, down here to Disney in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? They're running these massive pedophile rings, passing their kids and kidnap kids and all this. They're passing these kids around, man. And a lot of these kids, they're accepting of it now because they've been hypersexualized, and they feel their sexual fantasies are being fulfilled. But in real, if you ever heard of Tinseltown in Hollywood, Tinseltown in Hollywood is a little town behind the scenes where everything's child catered, where they take the kids and lure the kids there with celebrities to be raped, and not even raped. They're willing, because these are the people they trust. They take these celebrities, literally lure them down back alleys of Hollywood into Tinseltown, and they all run a big pedophile train on these kids, man. And a lot of the times they end up killing the kids. They're killers. This is the occult. You know what I mean? They sacrifice little kids, and that's hypersexualization. That's what they're doing right now. I'm not okay with it. If y'all are okay with it, stay silent. If you're okay with it, stay silent. I'm not. So that's hypersexualization. I just wanted to break down the word for you one time. And that's part 10. So we'll see you next time.